Banding together always has more of an impact than a lone protest. And for the less affluent members of a society, organizing themselves and making a concerted effort is the most effective way of making governments sit up and listen to them. Now we go to Thailand, where villagers whose complaints have been largely ignored over the years have founded an organization that ensures their participation in the development of their country. Camping out in the open streets of Bangkok may not be the best way to spend time in Thailand's capital city. These villagers from northeast Thailand, however, are not here on a picnic, but on protest.
I am here as a part of the protest because my land is flooded by waters from the Sirindon Dam. I want the government to pay compensation for my loss.
The demands of the protesters vary from grievances over being displaced by large dam construction projects to being denied access to community forests. But what the group have in common is the feeling that they are being neglected by the government because they are poor and have little influence. In the past, none of these villagers would have expected to get attention from the powers that be in Bangkok. But after they formed their own organization, the Forum of the Poor in 1995, their protests are being taken more seriously by the government, the media, and the urban public.
At first, the government used to treat us as a negligible force, and when we formed this group, they started paying attention, and have now solved some of our problems.
Like the Forum of the Poor in Thailand, there are organizations of the rural and urban poor in many other countries of the Asian and the Pacific region. These include slum dweller federations, rickshaw puller associations, hawkers welfare cooperatives, and fishermen's groups. Various studies have shown that poor communities that are organized can bargain better with government and other groups to improve their own conditions and break the cycle of poverty.
The movement of getting the rightful place for the poor in societies, of course, started out very early. And it has moved from more of confrontation and seeking rights for the poor to now becoming more of partnership building with other actors in societies, including governments. And this has only been possible because the poor have organized themselves.
While agitation and protest are one means of bringing attention to the plight of the poor, a complementary path is that of self-help. Here at Klong Toi, which is one of Asia's largest slums, the Duang Pradeep Foundation has carved a niche for itself as an organization of the poor to help themselves. The foundation provides education for children from the slums at a low cost, a saving scheme for income generation, and counseling for youth. But such a self-help program is only a short-term measure, and the problem of poverty can only be solved through the fundamental changes in national development policies and priorities.
ปัญหาคนจนเนี่ยหนักหน่วงและรุนแรงมากขึ้นแล้วก็
Many sectors of the society look at the poor as a source of social problems. But actually, the problem has increased because we have the wrong development policies. There is an imbalance between the laws, the economy, and the social structure. So the problems of the poor are greater.
In Thailand, an offshoot of the growth in the organizations of the poor has been their ability to influence the framing of the country's new and vastly more democratic constitution, adapted in 1997. It was drafted by elected citizens following discussions and debate for a period of over 2 years. Amongst its new clauses are those that allow citizens to impeach both politicians and bureaucrats who are corrupt or don't perform, and have the right to information and the right to elect government officials.
The recognition that the political framework need guarantees for abuses of power, for legitimate participation of the people, for delegitimizing or recalling the terrible politicians. So that kind of responsive mechanisms are built in this constitution.
Whether it is changing a country's laws or their own lives, the message for the region's poor is simple. Organization is the key to empowerment. It is a message that the poor are taking seriously in larger and larger numbers as they struggle to improve their material conditions and status in society.